You walk into the supermarket for one thing, a single carton of milk. You grab it, turn toward the register, but your eyes snag on a display of artisanal cookies. You add them to the cart. Then, a shelf of vibrant, neon energy drinks pulses in your peripheral vision. You reach for one, then another. 10 minutes later, you stand at the checkout counter. You look down at your cart. It is overflowing with items you never intended to buy. The register screen flashes a total, $87. You stare at the receipt, the paper crinkling in your grip as you struggle to recall why you chose any of these products. You were not forced to buy them, yet you were not entirely in control either. You have just navigated a minefield of psychological triggers perfected by experts over decades. You are not just a shopper. You are a participant in a game where the rules are hidden in plain sight. Today, we peel back the curtain on the invisible strings that dictate your habits. Once you see them, the illusion falls away. Consider the scarcity effect. You are browsing a site, searching for a specific item. You see two identical products side by side. One is simply available. The other displays a bold, red banner. Only two left. Your pulse quickens. The air feels thinner. You stop scrolling. That red signal cuts through your calm, rational state like a blade. Your brain is not processing the item anymore. It is processing a threat. We are hardwired to equate rarity with value, a relic of a time when resources were scarce, and hesitation meant starvation. Advertisers know this. They use countdown timers, low stock warnings, and limited edition labels to hijack that survival instinct. It is a psychological trap designed to force a panicked purchase before your logic can intervene. You click buy, not because you need the item, but because your brain screams that it might vanish. You are acting on a reflex, not a choice. The system has successfully bypassed your critical thinking, turning your own biology against you. That is the power of scarcity. It transforms a simple transaction into a desperate race against an invisible clock. Second, notice the anchoring technique. You walk into a store and spot a winter jacket. The tag reads $300, but it is crossed out, and a new price stands in bold red, $99. Your brain immediately locks onto that first, high figure. That $300 number becomes your anchor. It sets the mental stage for what the item should be worth. Because you see the $99 price in relation to that initial high cost, your mind registers a massive gain. It feels like a triumph, a steal, a victory of thriftiness. But consider the reality. Even if that jacket cost only $10 to manufacture, you no longer care about the production cost or the quality of the fabric. Your judgment has been successfully distorted by the comparison. You are not buying a bargain. You are buying a relative comparison. The advertiser does not need the jacket to be worth $300. They only need you to believe it once was. By placing that high number in your path first, they control your perception of value. You walk out of the store satisfied with your purchase, never realizing that the only thing you truly bought was the illusion of a deal. Third, look at social proof. You stand between two restaurants on a busy street. One is empty. The other has a line wrapping around the corner. You automatically choose the crowded one. We assume that if a crowd exists, the quality is guaranteed. Brands weaponize this by labeling products as bestsellers or the most popular choice. They use the behavior of strangers to override your own judgment. Fourth, observe the decoy effect. Imagine a software company offering a basic plan for $10, a premium for $20, and a premium pluses for $22. The middle option exists solely to make the top tier look like an incredible deal. You are not choosing what you need for your work. You are choosing the option that makes you feel smartest for catching a bargain. The $20 price point acts as a decoy, pushing you toward the $22 tier. You walk away satisfied, believing you made a clever decision, while the company successfully maximized your spend. In both cases, the goal is the same. You follow the pack or chase the deal, never realizing that the options were calibrated to ensure you pay more. You are not a free agent in the marketplace. You are a target being guided toward the most profitable outcome for the seller. Fifth, recognize the invisible language of color psychology. You walk past a fast food chain and feel a sudden, sharp hunger. The walls are painted a vibrant, urgent red. It is not an accident. That shade is engineered to spike your heart rate and trigger a craving. Conversely, banks and insurance firms cloak themselves in deep, steady blues. They want you to associate their services with calm, stability, and trust. You are not just buying a burger or a financial plan. You are consuming an emotion coated in pigment. Sixth, understand the mere exposure effect. You hear a song on the radio and immediately hate it. It sounds grating and repetitive. But after hearing it 50 times, you find yourself humming the melody in the shower. Familiarity feels like safety to the human brain. Brands exploit this by saturating your environment with the same logo and the same slogan until they become part of your mental landscape. They do not need to convince you that their product is superior. They only need to ensure it is present. By the time you reach for a box on the shelf, your brain recognizes the pattern as a friend. You are not choosing based on quality. You are choosing based on the comfort of a repeated, programmed signal. Seventh, face your internal fear of missing out. You see a countdown timer ticking towards 0 on a website. Your stomach tightens. You do not actually need the item, but the thought of the offer vanishing creates a sharp, physical spike of stress. This is not just excitement. It is the weaponization of your own biology. We suffer from something called loss aversion. The human brain is wired to fear losing a chance far more than it values the joy of gaining a product. Advertisers know this. They build flash sales and exclusive access to sell pure anxiety. They turn a simple retail transaction into a high-stakes race against the clock. You are not buying a product anymore. You are buying relief from the impending regret of missing out. The moment you click that button, the pressure vanishes, replaced by a momentary, hollow satisfaction. But the trap remains. You've learned that hesitation carries a cost. The next time a notification hits your phone, your heart rate will climb again, and you will move faster to secure the deal. You are being trained to equate speed with safety and loss with pain. Every ticking clock is a command to stop thinking and start spending. Eighth, consider the quiet power of reciprocity. You walk through a grocery store aisle, and a server offers you a small, free sample of cheese on a toothpick. You take it, you chew, you say thank you. But in that exact moment, an invisible social contract has been signed. Your brain now registers a debt. You have received something for nothing, and the discomfort of that imbalance begins to claw at your focus. You feel a sudden, irrational obligation to offer something in return. The store manager knows this. They are not giving away food for charity. They are purchasing your potential compliance. You stand there, looking at the full-sized package, and the price tag suddenly seems less like a cost and more like a way to settle the score. You are far more likely to place that item in your cart, simply to clear the ledger in your mind. The psychological pressure is subtle, yet it feels entirely inescapable. You did not enter the store wanting the cheese. You did not even particularly like the taste, yet you carry it to the checkout because you want to stop feeling like a debtor. Every free gift is a trap designed to bypass your logical defenses, turning a simple transaction into a moral obligation you never agreed to uphold. Ninth, look for the subtle deception of the halo effect. You see a famous athlete standing on a billboard, holding a simple plastic bottle of water. Your brain does not see a person holding a commodity. It sees the athlete's success, their discipline, and their physical perfection. Instantly, those positive traits bleed into the water. You begin to believe that drinking this specific brand brings you closer to that same level of excellence. It is a logical fallacy, yet it works with terrifying efficiency. We are hardwired to trust those who have achieved status. When a face we admire touches a product, the product inherits a borrowed halo of credibility. Your judgment is blinded by the glow of the celebrity. You stop analyzing the water's quality or its price. You stop comparing it to the cheaper alternative sitting right next to it on the shelf. Instead, you reach for the bottle because your mind has been tricked into thinking it carries the essence of the person holding it. Advertisers spend millions to rent this borrowed trust, knowing that if they can link their item to a person you admire, your rational skepticism will vanish. You are no longer buying hydration. You are buying an association with greatness, effectively paying a premium for a reflection of someone else's life. Finally, we reach the most potent weapon in the marketing arsenal: emotional storytelling. Forget the brochures listing technical specifications or material benefits. You do not remember those. Instead, you remember the commercial where a father runs alongside his young daughter, holding the back of her seat as she learns to ride a bike for the first time. The scene is warm, quiet, and deeply human. The product is there, perhaps a simple car or a brand of insurance, but it is not the focus. It is merely a prop in a scene about love, growth, and connection. This is deliberate. By placing the product within a narrative of hope or family, advertisers bypass your critical reasoning entirely. Your brain stops calculating price and value. it starts feeling the weight of that father's pride. You are no longer buying a service. You are buying a dream of your own future. You want to be the hero of that story. The physical item is relegated to the background, serving only as the vessel for an emotion you desperately want to claim. It is the ultimate sleight of hand. They sell you the connection, and you happily pay for the prop, convinced that the item itself carries the warmth of the memory you just witnessed. These 10 psychological triggers are not inherently evil. They are simply reflections of how our brains process information and social cues. However, they become traps the moment they are weaponized to drain your wallet without your consent. Your primary defense is not a complex strategy, but simple, brutal awareness. The next time you find yourself standing in an aisle, gripped by a sudden, inexplicable urge to grab an item, stop. Do not move. Take a deliberate breath. Ask yourself one question. Do I actually need this? Or am I just reacting to a trigger? That single moment of pause is the thin line between being a mindless consumer and a conscious master of your own choices. When you hesitate, the illusion breaks. The strings become visible. The urgency evaporates. You reclaim your agency from the marketing experts who have spent decades trying to automate your decisions. Once you recognize the game, you are no longer a puppet in their show. You are the one holding the purse strings. Walk away if you must, or buy only what serves your actual life. You are the architect of your own spending. Choose with intention, pause before the purchase, and take back control of your wallet for good.